Good luck.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Game Addicts podcast. I'm your host Brando, and this is Player 2 Mike.
Oh, hello.
This is the show where we talk about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. And today, we are honoring Mass Effect. Mainly, I am honoring Mass Effect.
Yeah, let's do a little thing here. Yeah, we got a table full.
I do have a table, and you know what? This is like all of my collection that I could find.
Other than your shirt.
Yeah, I have a Mass Effect 3 shirt. I have a Mass Effect wallet that's my second wallet. I actually use that. I have a little a fat boy, a fat man, or
It's a wall sticky.
wall sticky. What are those things called?
I don't. The
fatty?
fat head.
Fat head.
They call them fat heads, but I didn't get it.
And then I've also got a original Mass Effect poster. I don't know if you can barely see it. It came with one of the strategy guide. I've got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of memories of Mass Effect. It's my favorite game series that started in the last gen.
Right.
It's not. I mean, I'm not. It's up there with one of my favorites of all time with Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy to me sort of started slipping, and this sort of I'll take its spot. And same with Resident Evil and Metal Gear. Those have all sort of slipped a little bit, and Mass Effect is I'll take it, and it really has. I'm a big fanatic. I was really upset this week because Dark Horse, they do all the Mass Effect comics.
Yes.
And they put the whole collection on sale for $50. All the single issues, and then the hardcover collector omnibus.
And you're on a no spending binge.
I am on a no spending because I am completely done spending until the Switch, or if I can whenever the new South Park game comes out.
Right.
I'm gonna. I do want to get it, so just depending on when it comes out, and I might not be able to get it day one. I might have to save for it, but I will be getting that whenever that does. But Mass Effect Andromeda launches, as we record this is Friday, because we launch on Mondays.
Yep.
So when you're watching or hearing this, it is tomorrow. It's the 21st. And did you even put together the launch date for Andromeda?
I did.
Where it's 3, 2, 1, and they're launching into Andromeda. So you know what? I'll be honest with you. The hype train didn't hit me until last week.
Right.
I'm excited for the game, yeah, but there was something final with Mass Effect 3 for me.
Right.
And so getting another one, yes, I want more Mass Effect. Come on now. I definitely want more Mass Effect. But at the same time, I guess I'd come to terms with the ending. Not that I'm gonna we're gonna talk about the ending because it was so controversial. Not that I'm saying that I'm come to terms with that ending. I'm saying I've come to terms with the fact that there was a definite beginning and then a definite end. And now that we're getting more with Andromeda, they had to find a way to do it.
Right.
That didn't bring up the endings or mess with that, or say which one did you choose, and then we go, because there's so many kind of weird changes that happen with the endings. But that being said, when we first started seeing stuff and it was going to be so different, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool, I want to see more. And then we started seeing more and seeing more and seeing more, and then it was all these it's probably going to get delayed. It's probably getting delayed because we haven't heard anything about it.
Well, they did that little train where they were just here's the Mass Effect video. And then 2 days later, here's another Mass Effect video, and then they kept the
more recently,
going.
but
I haven't seen the multiplayer.
Oh, we haven't. Well, you haven't watched that? Crap!
I told you.
I wish you would have said something. We would have stopped.
We'll do it on air.
We'll do it on air.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Okay. But yeah, it was the last couple of weeks where I started learning more and more and more, and seeing more of how the game works. It's yes, this is the Mass Effect I want. Yes, all right, I'm excited. With that being said, I guess you could call this a Mass Effect retrospective video or a podcast of sorts. Basically, and you know what? Let's just talk about that right now, because we mentioned before on air that you've taken a new job and that your hours are going to change, and it's going to affect kind of how this show works.
Right.
With you being on, you're going to be on when we can get you on.
Right.
But if it comes to the point where it's like I can't be on this week, then I've got to figure something else out. I've already, well, of course, Silent Rob, he said he would come in and be on the show,
Right.
and just fill in, or we can do some episodes there. And then, of course, just however I can make the show work, essentially. But we don't have to worry about that for a few more weeks. But
Yeah, we actually got 2 weeks plus the 3 weeks because I'll still have to do my 3-week training. So we have 5-week window now.
There you go. We'll see. And here's the thing, guys, is that if you listen to this show and Journey to Comics, you'll know that Journey to Comics, me and Nate, are hosting LaFiCon.
Yes.
And we're doing a live show, and that's going to be a busy weekend. And then it doesn't stop after that, because Walking Dead is doing their series finale or season finale on that Sunday, and WrestleMania is that Sunday, so we do a wrestling show too. So I've got to do a review of Walking Dead and of Mania after the LaFiCon shows.
Phew.
And so we're going to have some extra shows for JIC. We've set it up to where we have a couple built up, and then we're going to be recording the panels that we do.
Yep.
So I'm going to make those into episodes, where it's going to be like, this episode is a collection of the panels.
Right.
Or whatever. And then we're doing another metal cast over there that we've done a couple of those in the past. Well, we're going to do some extra episodes of this show too. And why? Well, that's because after that week after LaFiCon, I've been podcasting pretty hardcore the last couple of years, but really laser focused since about August or September of last year. And then we bumped up this show to be every week, because before it was over on Journey to Comics, and it was like once or twice a month.
Yeah.
And that's the way that it was designed. It was the same with the wrestling show and with Nate's other show, Foodies Watching Movies. And then I decided it was time. I want to do this show all the time.
Yep.
And you agreed, and we started doing it. And then I don't want that to stop, and it's not going to stop, but I need a break.
Yeah.
I need a break. I want to have a couple weeks where I'm not podcasting. But here's the thing. We're taking a break, but you guys are never even going to know, because we're going to build up some episodes, and they're going to be released. And as you guys have probably heard, we've done the retrospective episodes on PSP and PS1. And then, so we're going to do more of those, and those are going to be...
Sorry, is that a PS1 game?
Is it, Mike?
Oh, man.
Oh, man, that's funny.
It hasn't happened just once.
No.
It's happened twice.
Has it happened twice?
It's happened twice.
What did you... Oh, it was like the episode after that.
Yep.
Oh, man. Mike,
Slipping.
you are slipping, and you you need to have that is that why you've increasingly started like double checking facts during the show, just so we don't be wrong?
Yes.
Dude, and it's okay. Don't worry about being wrong. It's cool. It's just when you're making your top 10 lists, better make sure next time.
The last couple of times, it's just been,
last minute. Yeah.
Last minute, busy, and I'm like, crap, I don't have a lot. Let's just do this one because I love that game, and I didn't really think about, hey, stupid, it's on the
That's on
Cube.
that's on the Cube and PS2, Xbox. Anyway, to get back to it, we are going to do the episode next week that you'll hear is going to be. Well, hold on, because we're going to do two. We're going to do at least two. Well, I need to sit down and figure out what days we can meet.
Yeah.
And then, because you said that we can possibly do one on Monday, which is when this show is up right now.
Yeah.
We might be doing a podcast as you guys are first hearing this. It all just depends. But we want to do a retrospective on the Super Nintendo. I want to do one on the PlayStation 2, which is
will not be me because I never owned one.
right. So I've already asked Rob.
Right.
So me and Rob sort of kind of did one on the first episode of Sort of Live, where we talked about the PS2 and picked our 5 favorite games, which was not our top 5 games of all time, or top 10, because I actually purposely picked games that I knew he wouldn't pick. So I have a toddler, and he screams. Hopefully that wasn't heard.
Yeah.
If we had better mics, Nate and Blaine have these Shure mics,
Yeah.
and they pick up almost nothing except for what's right in front of them.
Right.
Nate, seriously, because he needs to have like stuff going on in the background.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he like starts spacing. It's weird, I know, but we were doing a wrestling podcast, and he had wrestling on because he hadn't watched that recent week's SmackDown or whatever. And he is deaf because he got an infection in his ear, and then Tony played Pantera too loud, and it popped his eardrum. It burst, and then so he has massive hearing loss in one of his ears. And so he needs to have his TV up loud.
So you guys are recording and all you hear.
He was lining us in through his iPad, but then this is a phone. Well, it's this little microphone picking up him and everything else in the room. Meanwhile, on the recording, he's recording on his end, guys, at this time. And he's just with his mic, and it's just picking up him, and it sounds perfect and fantastic. Me and Patrick are going. So I message him, turn down your TV. And it's funny because you don't hear it, but on our end, we just hear cycle down. Anyway, guys, yeah, Nate's going to be on, and we're going to do the Xbox 360. Yeah. And that'll be next week on Friday. No, Saturday. Yeah. So basically, in the next coming week, we're going to be doing like 4 episodes maybe of the Game Addicts, because along with the retrospective, okay, so the retrospectives don't really have much news, unlike this one is sort of like a weird amalgamation of a retrospective plus some news because the release of anticipation of Andromeda. But then I also want to do one on another series that just had a release and that maybe you just picked up a game for.
What game would that be?
I don't know. What's your pickup?
What is my? Oh, would that be Breath of the Wild? Still in the cellophane. I literally got it. 30 minutes before I got here.
There you go.
Because Amazon's awesome. And
will you be cracking that open tonight and playing that tonight?
I will probably.
Well,
no, I won't.
Well, because you won't be here for the weekend.
Yeah, I won't be here for the weekend.
So Monday,
I'll probably be pretty hardcore with it.
There you go. It's a badass game. I was playing it when you got here.
See, my confliction here is the fact that I have Zelda and Andromeda's on the way.
Oh, so did you pre-order Andromeda? Oh, did you get the regular edition or the deluxe?
I got the regular for now. I haven't decided if I want to bump it up yet.
Okay, because Rob got the regular as well. I did get the deluxe. I personally like the cover for the deluxe. That's honestly the reason why I did it.
Well, I mean, with Amazon, you get the 20% off, so you're basically getting that for the original price of the regular game. So I'm still working on that. I will probably talk her into letting me bump it up $10 more. I hope.
My toddler's now playing his jingle piano. Anyway, guys, yeah, I want to do a retrospective on just Zelda. So instead of just doing a system and all the stuff that we'd like on that system or whatever, just on Zelda, and maybe do one on. We might
have to have a 2-parter on that.
Well, I mean, it all depends. It all just depends on how long we can go.
A lot of fun memories of Zelda. I've almost played every single one. There's only a handful I have not played. Same.
But also like Final Fantasy, we could do one on that one day. And see, the thing is that this show, we talk about the stuff that's going on now, but I like, since I'm a big collector, and then you're a collector too, to sit back. Let's take an episode back and let's reminisce and let's talk about this system or this series, and that's kind of what we're going to be doing. The episodes for like around April are just going to be taking a step back, and then eventually when we do come back, which I just realized with us building up episodes, we're not going to have pickups for a while. And then I think maybe like when we get back together, either at the end of April or beginning of May, I'm going to be like, here's the Persona game I got like a month ago.
Yeah.
But
I should have some retro pickups. I have a few that I plan on picking up before those episodes.
Well, right on.
I got to get them, though, and I got to find them. A note on that. $900 for Bamsy.
Bamsy, our local disc replay in Lafayette, got a copy of Bamsy on the Game Boy, and it is a
original Game Boy. It's
original Game Boy, and I looked it up, and it was like it's a reskin of another game, basically, and it was like some game. I think it was like some like T-Rex or something.
It's the Bamsy T-Rex, I think. But yes, it is.
I don't really care to be that honestly like accurate on this. But then they reskinned it with like a Switzerland cartoon.
Because the Bamsy was a Switzerland cartoon.
Yeah.
And they kind of mashed them together to make this game.
Exactamundo. And
I'm interested. I heard it's terrible.
I heard it wasn't very good, but it's super rare, and somebody traded it into our disc replay
for a Switch. It was as the story was told to me.
So like, was it a Switch in the store, or they go buy a new Switch?
So what happened is this guy has been bringing this in here into disc replay for a while, and the first time he was like, I want $800. And they're like, oh, we're not giving you $800. We're a corporation. We give you our flat rate. That's all you get. So he left, and he said he tried to sell it on eBay. No bites. Because that's one of those, if you're a completionist, that's the, you have to have that game. But people like me and you, we're not buying a $900
Hell
game.
no.
That's
Hell no.
So many more games.
Dude, all right. Here's the thing. And maybe my mind would change, but like, all right, so someone where we work won a big ass lottery ticket.
Yes, he did. $184 million is what he walked away with.
Is that what it was at the end of the day?
That's after the 50% cut and the
income?
39% tax. Yeah.
All right. So if I had that much money,
Yeah.
okay, honestly, I think the first thing that I'm going to be doing is building a bigger house to hold my collection.
Yes.
And then I would be buying some more expensive things for my collection.
Right.
Would I buy that? Probably not. Granted, when you have that money burning a hole in your pocket and you go, I can buy that, it would be...
I think, I know that, I don't know about you, but I think that I would do it at least once just to be like, I can't believe I just bought this $900 game in person.
Now, okay, here's something that I just thought of. Would I buy it and then try to find a home for it? Yes.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like somebody who is collecting, and then it's like, I don't care if I make my money back.
Yeah, but so this guy, he'd been bringing it in there, and he brought it in there, I'd say a month or so ago, and was like, I really want to trade it in. The guy that I talked to told him, don't trade that in. That is super rare. Do not trade that in. So he talked him out of it. Still couldn't sell it online. Came back in a couple days before the switch, and said, I just want to get rid of it. And he talked him out of it again. Launch us a switch. He walked in there and said, I don't even care what you give me for it. I need to get a switch. That's what I want. And Disc Replay usually does like a third of the actual selling price.
For cash, and then they bump it up for
in-store credit.
So what, they do like maybe 35% cash, 40 store credit?
I don't know, but there was some of those little wristband things for the Switch. I don't know what they're called. They slide over the top, make it bigger.
For when you're holding the controllers
individual controllers. Yeah. Those were in there, so they might have had a Switch in there, but I don't think they did. But there was also a lot of Sega CD, which we have not seen too much Sega CD in our area at all. And there was a Sega Game Genie, and I sit there and stared at it for like 30 minutes, and Joanna was like, no. Moving on. Because I was like, man, I really want that. I had that growing up. I got it from a yard sale. I was excited. But we digress. So yeah, he traded that in just for a Switch. Jesus. So that's what you've done, Nintendo. People are trading in super rare games for your console.
I'll actually share the picture that you sent me of it on our Instagram, because underneath, or was it attached onto it, it was a little sticky note that said, yes, seriously.
The one for the Metroid Prime and Wind Waker mix, the dual case.
That one was hilarious.
That was $219.
I don't have that picture.
I have that picture. I'm going to bring that up
because I got my phone and it got wiped when I got it fixed.
So
yeah, let's talk about that.
I've got to find it. That's the fun part, because I've got all these game pictures where I take pictures and send them to you of like, hey, they have Persona 4 at Disc Replay, you should come buy it.
Persona 2.
Persona 2, that was 2, yes.
And then I told you I was on my way.
Yeah.
On my way. I'm coming.
Where's it?
It might be back.
How far back do you think it'll be?
I don't know. This makes for very compelling audio.
It does. Why don't you talk about something else? Oh, wait.
Oh, did you find it?
Nope.
Well, what the hell? Yeah.
I may not have took a picture of it.
Going back to what I was saying though about like taking a break, you guys are gonna get some more retrospective episodes. So if anything major happens, we may talk about it on our Twitter account, which is at Game Addicts Play. Instagram is Game Addicts Play. Facebook Game Addicts Play. I found a smooth way to go right into plugs. Look at that.
Look at you go.
Of course, and then if you follow us there, it's cool. We always share our YouTube video. You know what? This last time, I actually made a little clip of me licking the Switch cartridge. And I uploaded that to Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Just as a little clip to show you guys that we also film this and try. We're not very professional at it, obviously, but hey, we do what we do. Maybe one day we will have a badass professional camera and setup.
Maybe. I've not seen it, so apparently it was one of those pictures that I took with you. Well, what? Hold on. We're gonna try a different avenue. Because the iPhone's kind of weird. So if I take a picture inside Messenger, it doesn't save to my phone.
I think mine does kind of like the same thing. But
this was a lot easier. This is the way I should have done it first place.
But yeah, guys, we're going to be doing some retrospective, some episodes here coming up, and and that's always fun to do. I love looking back and thinking about my favorite systems and what my favorite games are on them. And one of the games that this is the spoiler alert, probably going to be pretty high up, is going to be Mass Effect for the 360. In fact, we're going to be spending probably the rest of this episode talking about Mass Effect. Now, Mass Effect came out in, was it November 20th, 2007?
You're right.
Okay, so that was when the first Mass Effect released, and it was exclusive to the Xbox 360. I'm holding my copy right here. It says, what does it say, Mike? What does that say up top?
Only for
Xbox 360. This game was published by Microsoft. And they kind of had a partnership with BioWare because they did the same thing for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which is the first BioWare game I ever played. And that's the game that got me to buy an Xbox.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I bought an Xbox in 2005 because our good friend Silent Rob told me, dude, you need to play Knights of the Old Republic. I said, I don't want to buy an Xbox. He goes, borrow mine. And so I did, and I played KOTOR. It became one of my favorite games on that system and of that generation. I mean, that's one of the best RPGs I played in that generation.
I own it. I still haven't touched it. Other than making sure that it works.
It is awesome. I mean, okay, so the gameplay seems a little dated now. But man, the story is the best Star Wars game they ever created. But it was made 100% by BioWare. And BioWare then went on to do Jade Empire, and then they made Mass Effect. And I did not have a 360.
And the monster was born.
I did not have a 360. I bought a PS3. And this is an Xbox exclusive. So, when it came out, I knew of it, but I wasn't paying attention to it because I couldn't play it.
Right.
So, it was about a year later, October, early November of 2008. And I was getting the hankering to play KOTOR. And I'm like, there was a video on YouTube of a dude doing like an overdub for KOTOR, and it's funny,
Right.
He reads the crawl and he reads it wrong, and then he voices like the two intro characters from the very beginning, and it's just a funny video. I've seen it a million times, but I looked it up on YouTube to laugh and watch it again, and then I saw a recommended video, the making of Mass Effect voiceovers. I'm like, okay, let's see what this is about. I remember Mass Effect, that came out, and that's when I found out that Seth Green was in this.
Right.
And I saw them talking and talking about recording the voice, and then I saw the conversation system. And anybody who played KOTOR or Jade Empire or even Elder Scrolls know that when you picked something, you picked a whole sentence and you had like 4 or 5 different full statements, and you had to read it and pick which one you wanted to say. Yep. And then the other person responded to you.
Right.
Well, that's not how this works. This works with a conversation wheel. And you pick the thought or the direction, or it doesn't say the whole full sentence. In fact, sometimes he says it in a completely different way.
Yep.
But then your character says it. Shepard says it, and you're watching. You are participating in a visual conversation.
Right.
And so it's almost like you are the director of the movie or something like that. And then so I'm like, that is freaking awesome. I have to get that game. Fast forward just by a couple of days. Me and Rob are chilling out, and I can't remember what day it was, but probably a Saturday. And our local Circuit City was closing down because they went bankrupt and they were closing down. And he was like, I kind of want to go and just see what they got left. And I'm like, yeah, me too. And I told myself, if they have Mass Effect, I'm buying it. Because I was like, I wanted to play the game. And Rob had a 360. He bought his cousin's 360, the original launch model 360.
Which sucked.
Yes.
I owned one and it melted. Like, didn't just, red ring, it melted the board.
So we go to Circuit City, and I go to the games. All their games are 50% off.
Yes.
And Mass Effect has been out for a year and been dropped down to $40. So I got it for $20. And I'm like, great, because if I hate it, I'm out $20.
Right.
I went on to spend $90 that day because they were going out of business. I bought an iPod dock and some Sony headphones. And then I got home and got bitched out entirely when I told her I bought an iPod dock. Now, granted, me and my wife aren't married yet.
Right.
We are sort of doing shared income, but we don't have the same bank yet.
Right.
Buddy, I must have caught her on a wrong day. She had a bad day of work because she lit my ass up. And so I hid this from her. For over a year, I hid Mass Effect. Said Rob bought it. So because it was Rob's, I played it in his room, on his Xbox, on his TV. And fell in love with this game. The opening of the game, you create your Shepherd. You go in and you design what kind of class you want to be.
Right.
I didn't understand any of this crap. What's a Vanguard? What's a Sentinel? I'm like, soldier, sure, click.
Which is the best selection
for this game because of the cooldowns are just too crazy. But once you learn how to play the game, it's not necessarily the best. It's the easiest, let's put it that way.
Right.
Especially if you've never played the first game. It's pretty rough around the edges.
And you've played the others.
Yes, of course. The other classes get better and easier to play as the games go on. The opening cinematic plays, I'm like, this looks pretty badass. And then it goes into the next cutscene. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. And it's Joker, and it's Seth Green's character, and he's talking about, because they just made the first jump with the mass relay with the Normandy. And he's saying statistics, and then an alien character, a Nihilus, who is a Turian Spectre. He says something, walks away. And so this whole scene's playing out, and then your character walks up and kind of steps into the frame, and the wheel pops up. And I'm like, this is the game? I thought I was seeing another cutscene. I'm like, oh, because I'm so used to the Kotar level of just the conversation. The little black bars come up, and it's just like face to face. You see face, and then it shows you, and your character sits there and going, pondering.
What to say?
But no, it's like 100%. You now talk during the movements and everything. That's so smooth. I'm like, it blew my freaking mind. And I'm like, and notice I'm not even at the actual gameplay, which the gameplay in Mass Effect 1 is pretty weak. It's very like they didn't have it down yet. They didn't have the cover system. It was there, but it's like, good luck figuring out how to use it. It's just you go up there and he just hugs it, and then you have to walk away, and then it's very stiff. It's very more mouse and keyboard friendly. It's like they were a RPG company trying to make a shooter, and they hadn't quite nailed it. Gears of War had been out for like a year. It came out while they were making this. Gears of War changed fundamentally how they did cover shooters and third-person shooters, right, which you can see that implemented into Mass Effect 2 and then 3, where it's like they now have a similar feel, sort of, with the same over-the-shoulder third-person shooter aspect, which this one, it is rough in that terms. But as far as just like getting engrossed into the story, and then like it didn't take me long at all.
Right.
And I beat the crap out of this game multiple times before Christmas. Probably at least 2.5. I was working on my third playthrough. And that's when Rob's Xbox burnt up.
Yeah.
I broke Rob's Xbox playing Mass Effect.
It doesn't surprise me.
It red ringed. And then since he bought it secondhand, it didn't have any warranty. So we did the towel trick, and it worked for a little bit, and then it went bad again. And then we towel tricked it again, and I want to say Gears 2 was out when this came out. Me and Rob played Gears 1. Loved it. I thought it was great. Gears 2, I couldn't give two shits about it because I was like, Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Go to play Mass Effect. I don't want to play this, Rob. I want to play Mass Effect. he's like, fuck that game, let's play Gears. And I'm like, so my enjoyment of Gears was like, I was not into it.
Right.
I wanted to play Mass Effect. So then it was then going into March of 2009, I bought my own Xbox. I bought an Elite. It was still the original launch style model. It is a few years later.
Right.
So they had fixed the red ring. My Xbox never red ringed.
That's what I had.
It was getting loud towards the end when I sold it, but that was it. It was just like the fan was loud. I don't know if it was running hotter or if the fan was just loud because it was old.
I burnt mine Xbox 360 up on Need for Speed.
Which one?
Most Wanted.
Most Wanted?
I played
the first Most Wanted.
Yeah, the first Most Wanted. It literally like broke the board free from the system. I was like, wow. And of course, I tried to fix it instead of sending it back in.
Mm-hmm.
Then I bought Halo Reach Edition.
Oh, okay. So that was a little bit later then? So you waited a while before getting it?
Yeah.
Because was that when you were playing the Wii?
No.
No?
That is whenever I was pretty much engulfed in WoW.
Oh, okay.
That was like my...
I remember there's like a couple of different like eras of you playing games where you were like all WoW or you were like all Wii or you were all 360.
I was Wii when I was deployed.
Were you deployed?
And my ex bought it and sent me, like, I got a box that was like this big and it was completely stuffed with everything Wii. Like everything that I wanted. I had every one of the primes. I had it all.
Right on.
And then I sold it all, which I shouldn't have, but you know. But I did get my fishing pole back.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is the actual copy I got from Circuit City. Of course, it comes with a manual.
Hey,
a full
what are those?
Colorized manual.
I haven't seen those in a decade.
This is my original copy. This is very sacred to me because this game holds a very special place in my heart. While maybe gameplay-wise it is the worst Mass Effect game, this game is it
started something.
So many games that I think about in my history of playing games affected me, like left a mark. This is one of them, right up there with FF7, up there with Metal Gear Solid. You know, games that when you walked away from that game, it wasn't just a game; it was an experience. Yes. And this is one of them, and that's why I love the lore. I love the series, buddy. When I get into something, I'm all in. Right. So like, when you talk to somebody who isn't all in, and they talk about it, and you're sitting there looking at them, and you go, you have no idea what you're talking about because you just got this wrong, you got this wrong, you got this wrong, and they're like, oh well, yeah, I played it a little bit. And I'm like, you don't even know. You know, it's a different thing. All right, so let's graduate from this. I got my own 360 for this. Only for Mass Effect, and so this became like KOTOR for the next generation. I bought an Xbox because of KOTOR, and I got a few other games with it, and then I bought a 360 for Mass Effect, and then that opened up. I bought some other games so I would get more use out of it. Right. So like that because there were games that were for both systems. Right. So now I wasn't just looking at the PS3 version. I was looking at the Xbox One too. Like well maybe I'll buy this one on Xbox just so. I've got more games to play for my Mass Effect machine.
Kind of like you did with your Xbox One.
Kind of, yeah. Also, I have glaucoma and my eyes are watery. I wasn't crying over Mass Effect.
Liar.
I was a little. I was getting teary-eyed. So, flash forward just a little bit. I was in 2009 that I got my Xbox. And then, November 2009 is when Mass Effect 2 was supposed to come out. So I pre-ordered from the Devil's Playground Mass Effect 2 Collector's Edition. My very first Collector's Edition of anything. I liked it that much that I was like, in. And I was on day shift still. I was a temporary at our job. And I went and... I remember we were just in the midst of a small minor snowstorm. Wasn't bad, but roads were a little rough. So I left work and picked us up, and I'll never forget. I was still under I was paranoid about my Xbox breaking,
Right.
Because of how bad it worked. So each and every game I got installed. So this game is 2 discs. Unlike the PS3 version, this game is 2 discs, and you have to install both of them. And check this out. You start on disc 1, and then you play for like a quarter of the game. Then you go to disc 2 and play the other 2 quarters of the game, and then you play the last mission back on disc 1. Weird. This also has a full color manual. Well, okay, it's not a full color manual. It's actually black and white. Wait a minute, you liar.
There's some color.
Well, on the cover.
Let me see.
It also comes with a collector's bonus disc that has like some behind the scenes. And this is the steel book. It's got Shepard and it's got a collector on the back. And then so I don't actually own a copy of this game with regular artwork. Notice that I am that crazy. I want to get a regular version of 2 and 3 on the 360, so I have, so that way it can go along with this.
Right.
But now check this out. All right, so this is like the little online thing, because this had an online pass. Didn't have anything to do with multiplayer. There's no multiplayer in Mass Effect 2. It just logged you in, and then if you get, which you can only get this by buying the game new,
right?
Because everybody redeemed it. Then you got free DLC for doing it. It was so weird, so stupid. But anyway, what held this together was glue, not Velcro. It was that little sticky rubberized glue that once you peel it off, it never goes back on.
Right.
So I got these little circle Velcros so I could close it back up. And this is the network card with the code for you to redeem your Cerberus network activation. What all did this come with? This came with the
artwork,
Mass Effect art book, and the first issue of the first Mass Effect comic, Redemption, which, if Mike will validate, it is pretty pristine because I've pretty much opened it once. Yeah. So there's that. Speaking of art, there's another art book I have to show off because I kind of skipped it over it because I got that before I got this. I got it in the summer of 2008. Anyway, so yeah, Mass Effect 2. I got this day of release. It took 2 hours before I could play it. I wasn't happy about that. This was the second game ever. I told my wife to shut up and leave me alone. I did that with Metal Gear 4. Metal Gear Solid 4. Shut up, leave me alone. Do not talk to me. If you need me that bad, come and get me, but do not talk while they're talking. I'm pretty sure that's how I said it. Nate, our good buddy Nate from Journey to Comics, got me this. The Art of Mass Effect 1. And this was a GameStop exclusive, I think, because he also got me the strategy guide. Now, granted, I'd already beaten the game, but he goes, here, I got these for a penny.
Yeah.
Because he worked at GameStop, and they had penny sales if you were an employee.
That's like the only reason why I would ever work there.
Yeah.
Just work like one day a week just to have it.
So cool to flip through this because, this came out in 2007, so looking back 10 years later, just to see, like, how they were early designing the Asari, or,
Right.
It's like the early first concept of the Normandy, or anything like that, or like the fighter ships or anything. It's so cool. And then, of course, the strategy guide, which I don't really collect strategy guides, but
you have started.
Well, sort of. This has the poster, and I took the poster out and put it up on my wall when I got it. And Nate got this for me, and I was like, man, that's badass. Thank you. He goes, I'm like, what do you want for it? He goes, I got it for a penny. Take it.
Right.
He goes, I got this for you because me and Nate, I think that summer we met up at like a TNA wrestling show. I went and he went, and we didn't know where each other was going. And at that point in our relationship, we had just started reconnecting with our friendship, and I invited him and his girlfriend Sarah to an Eister show, which I'm a big Eister fan. And then somewhere along the lines of us talking, he found out I was a massive Mass Effect fan. So when this came up, he goes, "Oh, Brando liked that." So he thought of me and got that for me, which is badass. And
here,
you take that and put it over. So yeah, Mass Effect 2 came out and I got it. Now Mass Effect 2 was exclusive, but Mass Effect 2 is when it got bought by EA. You can see it right there, the watermark, EA symbol. EA now owns Mass Effect, or they own BioWare and all its licenses and all that stuff. So the next year, in January of 2011, it came to the PS3 for the first time.
Right.
And so, but they didn't get Mass Effect 1.
No.
Because it was exclusive to the Xbox for a 5-year period at least. So if you bought Mass Effect 2 on PS3, you got access to a comic that allowed you to make the big choices for Mass Effect 1. Weird, but at least it's there. You get
at least they tried.
You get the story at least, right?
Yeah, they at least tried.
And I remember downloading the demo for PS3 just to see, because they used the graphics engine, the updated graphics engine for 3, and applied it to 2, and I'm like, it does actually look better.
Huh.
Not much, but mostly like in the textures of the faces. When they're super up close, you're like, ooh, that looks good. So then we're going to fast forward to 2012. Me and you now know each other by this point.
Yes.
And I will not shut up about Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, because it's going to come out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And you're like freaking out.
Oh, yeah, every day. Hype is real. By this point, Mass Effect 3, I have talked up Mass Effect so much that I loaned Jay my copy of 2, and he played through it. I loaned Matt Milliken my copy, and he played through it. 2, right? Yeah. Jay's tried 1 first and didn't like it. And then Matt said he liked Need for Speed and Gears of War. And that's pretty much it. I'm like, if you like Gears of War, you should check this game out. And he goes, should I start with the first one? I said, no. And here's why. And then I basically told him everything that happened in the first game, like over the course of probably a couple days. I just laid out the entire full story, and then he kind of got it. And then when he played 2, it started like, okay, I remember him saying this, I remember him saying that. All right, and he played it, and so Mass Effect 3 was coming out. You did not play any of the early ones before,
no, I did
and
not.
Decided, was it like on a whim?
It was
because
at
I was getting
very last minute. They started announcing the multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I don't really have anything to play. And you're like, you're going to get it. We're going to play it. That's what's going to happen. So I ended up getting it. And I actually played the multiplayer first because I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Right.
So I wanted to be able to test out each class and see which one was right for me. I fell on an infiltrator. Then I tried to play it, and then I changed quickly because that is a very advanced class. You definitely need to know what you're doing. You cannot be a starter on an infiltrator.
No, I mean, definitely not the first game.
The first game.
I remember.
I think I picked the Sentinel, or the what was it? It was a Sentinel, yeah.
The one with the body armor.
Yep.
Or the tech armor.
Yeah, the tech armor.
All right, so I had pre-ordered Mass Effect 3 from the Devil's Playground, collector's edition, just like before. And I was talking about it, and the way that I was on second shift now, so I had to wait until after work on Tuesday night to even crack it open and play it. Here's a caveat. I was going to see Iced Earth and Symphony X the next day on Wednesday.
I remember this.
And so I was not going to have time to play it at all. 0, because we had to get up at like 6 o'clock, almost 7 o'clock, because we were going to spend the night over in Columbus, Ohio. And check-in ended at like noon. So we had to be there. And we had to make the drive over there, check in, and the show started. We had to be at the venue at like 5:30.
Yeah.
For the meet and greet. So Jay's like, you know what? I've decided I'll buy the game. But what if you pick it up for me? I'm like, what? He goes, I'll give you, I got $50 on me. You cover the other 10, and then you can play it tonight and bring it in tomorrow. I went,
deal.
Done. And of course, my wife rolled her eyes like so hardcore when I walked in with that game. I'm like, I only paid $10. She goes, $10? you have the game pre-ordered. I'm like, yeah, I can't play it tonight, but now I can. So I started playing the just plain copy of Mass Effect 3, and then I went to right before work and picked up Mass Effect 3 Collector's Edition, and this is actually, I think, the best looking one out of my editions, because 2 is rough because 2 got a lot of play. But this comes with another steelbook. It's got Broshep on one side, Femshep on the other, because on the actual version of the playing game, they had a reversible copy. If you wanted male Broshep, or Femshep. Once again, 2 discs, and I think it might be kind of like the similar thing where you go back and forth.
It is.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it is.
And it's got some of the... I still have all my... I got a free 2-day gold pass in here.
Ooh.
Does it expire?
Get 2 days free gold.
I don't know. I can't see. Anyway. No manual at all on this. But in the collection edition on this one, it's different. It doesn't have that crappy glue. This one comes with another art book, which almost spoiled the game for me. Oh no! I dropped something. I got a patch. I got an N7 patch for you to put on your jacket or whatever. It's
Velcro, isn't it?
Is it Velcro?
Let me see.
Yeah, it's Velcro.
Yeah, it's Velcro.
But can you imagine if I had this on my paint suit at work? Badass.
You would wear it every day.
I would. I got another art book.
No, you wouldn't, because it would be messed up.
Oh yeah, you're right. Probably got a sealer on it.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that.
Anyway, yeah, there was something in here that this page nearly spoiled the game for me. But they didn't do it. There's the Elusive Man in boss form.
There?
Yeah.
Because it was, you had a shine.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright.
What they decided not to do was do a boss fight at the end of the game, which is typical of a game to have a boss fight at the end, and they decided that they wanted to tell more story instead of do a classic.
I believe that was a good move. Others did not.
Yeah, I'm torn, and it also comes with another. Comes with a another comic.
Invasion.
And then this one, it just fell out of my comic that made me. It's a lithograph of the Normandy that I stuck in the comic.
Yes.
I don't break this stuff out too often anymore. But then, Mike.
Patch.
I got it. Mike.
Yes.
So that was 2012, and then of course we then commenced what?
On a 6-month binge of multiplayer? We
started in April because the game came out in March, and I didn't touch it. So, so maybe we started in late March.
You did touch it once with me. I got you to do one game of the multiplayer because you're like, I don't really care. We're going to play it, but I don't really care. And I was like, you just got to do one game with me. And you did one game, and you're like, this is badass, but I'm going to get to it later.
Well, see, all right, because you told me, and I remember this because I'm crazy like that, because I took the day off after the launch for the concert, but then took the next 2 days off just to play Mass Effect 3.
Yes.
And as another gamer, I told my wife to shut up and leave me alone. And she goes, well, can't you just play in the living room and I'll be quiet? I'm like, if you're quiet.
Yeah.
I did get my Mass Effect 3 survival kit a week before, or a few days before. A 24-pack of Green Monster. And I didn't drink all of 24. I drank like a couple. But I also got dark chocolate Milky Way because I like the taste of those two together for some reason. And
I thought it was a hint at the Milky Way. Eh?
Let me see what you did there. So you told me on Tuesday when I was leaving, you're going to beat the game before I do.
Yes, just to get you stirred up.
I said, absolutely not. No, you will not. And I meant that.
I know you did.
So, okay, so I played a little bit. I played for a few hours Monday night, Right. I probably played until like 7 o'clock. So I probably got home. We probably worked 10 hours. So I probably got home around.
That time was the 10-hour binge.
A lot of 10 hours. So let's just say I got home around 4:30, 5 o'clock. I played for a couple hours.
Right.
And then I came in, gave Jay his copy. I picked that up. I came home that night. Was supposed to go to bed. I didn't.
No sleep.
We actually got out pretty decently that night because I got home and I started playing around 3. So we got out before that, and I didn't quit playing until 5:30. My wife woke me up at 6:30 to leave. I didn't tell her that I'd stayed up late playing until we were on the way over there. Anyway, so we get over there, and then we do the show. We get out of the show at midnight. I'm still running on an hour of sleep. We get back to the hotel room and probably fall asleep around 3.
Yeah.
I'm zonked. I have a really good night's sleep. And we go to head back, and we are stuck in traffic for over 2 hours on the interstate because
I remember that
because the truck lost its cargo, and
I was at work.
Work for you hadn't started yet because this was still like in the early afternoon. I finally got home around 5 o'clock that evening, and I started playing probably around 6:30 because we ate dinner.
And you didn't stop.
I didn't stop until 8 o'clock the next day. 8 a.m. So I go to sleep. I wake up around 3. Start playing probably around 4. I don't stop until 7 or 8 the next morning again.
You in that game.
And then I go to sleep. And I wake up on Saturday. And my mom comes over. I don't touch the game until she gets there. And then we go out to eat. We have a good time. It's around her birthday, you know.
Right.
She comes over for her birthday. And she leaves. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. I put another 7 hours into it, and then I beat it. I had the game beat. And then I think Caitlin went to bed early that night. And I go and lay down. And I'm laying there. And I'm just pondering the ending. Because the ending to Mass Effect 3 is controversial for a lot of fans. Some felt it was just very cheap. Some felt it was like it didn't make any. It sucks because it doesn't take any of your choices throughout the entire series into effect. I think of it. It was very vague, which to me harkened back to like FF7's ending. It's very vague. How did they live? Right. Red 13 lived, so I guess they lived. What happened after that? You have to fill in the gaps yourself. So I'm laying there and I picked my ending, and I'm filling in the gaps. I'm like, what happens? What happens then? If I did this, then what? And I fall asleep, and I have a dream about it. That tells you. So then the next day, I played multiplayer for the first time, and then I went back in and started my FemShep playthrough.
I think that I got you to play like your first time with me.
On that Sunday?
Yeah, because I remember bugging you about it.
And then I was playing my FemShep playthrough, and then because I want to say I also played with or talked to Wes about it that day too, and. So Mass Effect 3, I play the crap out of that. Then we start playing multiplayer. And this is the story. You and me have done this voice and these voices on the podcast before.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now,
you see here, when it comes to glitching, this man to be the best glitcher that ever glitched.
Oh, man. All right, so there was a glitch in the multiplayer where if you started the game on bronze,
you got all the way to wave
10, and then was it that you wiped out? Then did you complete it?
You didn't complete the thing. You died,
and then it went back to the lobby.
Yep.
And then you bumped it up to gold. And then you got in the game, and then the host migrated.
Yep.
He left. And then when you got back in, it started you on wave 10. And then you had to invite the host back in if you wanted to. I mean, obviously you did. But then when you completed the wave, you got all the credits for doing that objective on wave 10.
Yep.
And then you could just die. And literally, once you started that, then you could just keep doing
Once
the gold.
Once it was started, you could continue it until you screwed it up.
Well, yeah, because then it's like because you had to do the objective.
Yep.
And at this point, I wasn't used to playing on gold.
Right.
I don't know if you were.
No.
And so it was hard. Literally, like.
Well, I was used to it because we had done it first, so I kind of knew what to expect.
Right.
But, yeah.
All right. So you tell me about this glitch, and we do it, and you're playing with somebody.
Yes.
In the party.
So how this happened? Here, let's go back.
All right.
So I'm going through playing random matches like everybody does, and I get in this room and this guy goes, "Hey man, are you cool?" I'm like, "Sure." He goes, "Well, if I tell you something, will you not tell anybody else?" Okay. Do you know that you can glitch on this? No, I haven't heard about the glitch. What do we do? So he explains this glitch to me. And I'm like, fuck yeah. I'll do this glitch with you. I wish I never would have started it. Because that spawned a terrible time for us. Because we could not play together without this guy being there.
I couldn't even log on to my 360.
By the time okay, so this guy was so bad that by the time your 360 booted up the home screen, he had already sent you a voice message about, "Hey guys, you want a glitch? Hey man, you want a glitch? I'm watching Netflix, but I'll glitch when Rob gets on." Oh man. So I tell him about it, and Brandon's kind of sketchy at first. He's like, I don't know. And I was like, we'll do it. We'll see how we like it. We do it, get some credits, and you're like, yeah, I'll get a platinum box. You got some good stuff in it. And you're like, this ain't too bad. Let's do it. Then me and you are no longer able to connect to each other. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So we started doing all these runs with Vampiro. Because we did it for 2 or 3 nights with each other.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't do it anymore together.
After that, we couldn't connect you. We had to have somebody else. If me and you tried to connect, it wouldn't allow it. But if Jay would host, it would be no problem.
Or anyone else would host. Would be fine.
All right. So anytime I would log on, he would bloop message, "Hey, want a glitch? Hey." And
he was okay. So he was always on. It didn't matter what time of the day you were on. He was there. He was always there. He had the highest gamer score I've ever seen in my life in person.
136,000
at the time.
At the time, that was in 2012, and I remember one time I wasn't even gonna play Mass Effect. I was gonna watch Netflix. I was gonna watch YouTube or something, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna chill out, and then maybe play later. Bloop. Hey man, want a glitch? Sure, why not? Put it up. He goes, and I'm in there. I'm like, all right, I'm in the multiplayer. He goes, all right, I'm just walking around the Citadel right now. If you're just walking around the Citadel, finish this stuff, why are you? Okay, whatever. So, this dude's name, I'm just gonna out it.
Oh, Vampiro.
His name is Vampiro, and the voice that we're doing is his voice, and it's very southern. Very southern. Now that I don't got no problem with Southerners.
No.
Okay, I got family from Kentucky. I got family down in Texas. But that's just his voice, and then so we talk like this, just to make fun of Vampiro.
Yes.
And okay,
and
so
Rob, his best friend that he, this guy, to this day, I've never met a man like him. Nate is bad, not Nate podcast, but Nate at work.
Yeah.
But he is, I mean, this guy is burnt out. This guy, I don't even know how to explain it.
Okay, so he hosted one of the games. Because so when you glitch, when you go into the gold match, you start wave 1, the host leaves, and then it does a host migration and loads you back in. So someone else is the host.
Right.
and then you have to send them an invite back then.
And you have to survive. This is the key. You have to survive that 2 minutes of the migration on gold when you are not prepared for gold.
You're right. Okay, so you have to invite them back in and don't complete the objective until they get back.
Right.
Because then they don't get anything.
What we would at least get, like if it was like targets, we get everything but one target.
But one, and then we'd leave it. Yeah.
And then we'd run.
Or like the modules, the hacking modules. We get the last one, then we wait for them to get back. So one time we had targets. And sometimes the multiplayer would glitch out, where it wouldn't show what was going on the HUD if you loaded in during an objective wave.
Yeah.
And so he came in, and then we're done. And
we all die.
We all die, and he's still going. And then Vampiro goes, hey, Rob, we're done. Just die. And he goes, what? We're done.
We've already finished it.
And he goes,
die.
He goes, it came up objective completion. And he goes, well, I didn't see that on my screen.
And this wasn't just once. This was every single time. And we would specify, all right, we've got it done. Go ahead and die. And he's still fighting tooth and nail. Let me tell you what, he was going to survive that wave. Ain't nobody going to kill him.
Oh, my gosh.
But we did get a lot of good stuff. I got my Geth level 10.
Your Geth assault rifle?
Geth assault rifle that it was so hard for me after it was max damage and I guess less weight.
Because when you get the weapons maxed out, the weight severely decreases on them.
Yes, and
so it helps your cooldown.
Literally use it on. It was literally the weight of a pistol.
Yeah.
So it was an assault rifle that had like 80 or 100 and some rounds if you set it up that way, and you could just. I had it set up to where I'd shoot for like 2 seconds and then do a power, and then shoot for 2 seconds and shoot a power.
You ran that with your Solarian engineer a lot.
Yes.
Because I would run the. Because we each had 2 engineers, and we were like, did you do energy drain?
You did decoy, because I did an infiltrator for a while. Remember, I was a Solarian infiltrator.
So then you did decoy. Because the infiltrator had the decoy, and then the other Solarian also had the decoy.
You're correct. And you would do incinerate. You would do an incinerate
and then energy drain. And I wonder if all of our glorious listeners heard my son scream and yell into the kitchen because my wife has taught him how to say daddy. Yell it.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Anyway, to help us out with our multiplayer endeavors, I splurged and got the guide. And as you can see, never really used it.
No, we kind of figured it out as well.
Well, no, here's the thing. The weapons for the multiplayer.
Oh, yeah, that's why you... Yeah.
The weapons for the multiplayer, wherever they are in here, they don't include a bar, like in the story mode, that show you the weight or show you, like, the damage or anything like that for each number.
Right.
Or oh, no, they don't do a comparison for what it would be if you maxed it out.
Wait. You're moving through too fast here.
Well, hold on.
No, stop.
And I'm still on campaign. I'm looking at it because I'm actually looking at the page now. Okay, I'm in multiplayer, and it kind of this guide does kind of like give you a good rundown of like how the multiplayer works, the classes.
But we didn't care about that.
We
only cared about what the weapons were because I wanted to know what things were.
Right, and so I bought it because it has it somewhere in here. Oh, hey, we have like all the maps that the game launched with. They have added way more than this. Yeah. And they also like edited these maps too, which is what I'm kind of getting at with this because when we had like this awesome, they're in here. The weapons are in here. Are they up towards the front?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Here it is.
Is there like a tab?
Oh, here we are. I found them. They're way up here. Yeah, so it shows you level 1, and then it shows you level 10.
Right.
And then it shows you for all the guns that are launched with the game. They added more guns that were that came in later. So like if you were working on the Falcon, right? It showed if you were like, what's that going to be when I get to level 10?
Right.
I would send you the picture of it, and you would have kind of an idea of if you're running that gun and another gun,
right?
How much weight? Well, these all got changed because they changed every single freaking one. So this became a paperweight because I didn't even need it. But that's what kind of launched me, because I'm just going to jump ahead just a tad. I now own Mass Effect 2 Guide because I had 1 and I have 3.
Why not have 2?
I bought this. I bought this from someone that I'm not even going to plug because I hate her store.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about.
yes.
Absolutely hate her store. She is ridiculous. She doesn't treat customers right.
Her prices are. We're talking. She wants. Okay, good example. The collector's edition of what game was it? It was one of the games that I had bought. She wanted $150 for. I could go to Walmart and buy it for $100.
It was because it was still brand new.
Because it was still brand new.
I remember you telling me that.
I was pissed.
Man, it's got a comic in here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, just a few pages. It's like a little preview. But anyway, I found this in there, and I'm like, the completionist in my heart had to pick up that one. Now, we enjoyed a lot of Mass Effect multiplayer. We started at the end of March, early April, and went all the way until January of the next year.
We played so much.
That is when we stopped. We even had a Facebook group called the Geth Busters.
Geth Busters.
Because we played a lot of Geth. Because with our setup that we did, we had our Solarians, and then we had Jay, who was a tank. He was always the Krogans. And then Matt was always trying different stuff. So with our Solarians and us doing tech stuff, and Jay just out there destroying people, we found out that we could do Geth pretty easy.
Yeah, we could rip through them.
And so we became the Geth Busters, and then we
actually started to do full-on gold.
Yes, that's what we did. And then, oh my gosh.
Are you telling the story about when we went up to Platinum?
About to. Because we get to Platinum. Platinum comes out in October. Platinum launches with want to say it launched with the Collectors DLC.
Yes.
Because they added DLC for all the multiplayer in Mass Effect 3.
They added the Collectors.
And they added that was the big one. But they added new some new characters, some new maps, some new this, some new that, some new weapons.
Just the car.
Yeah, and then for the Collectors, they added a whole new enemy type, hazard maps of all the original maps that were released. And then so we added a new enemy type, and they added a platinum difficulty, which is harder than gold. So we were doing gold and with Geth, and we're like, we got this.
We were doing it in 24 minutes.
I'm glad you remember.
24 minutes we were blowing through it, and we were Firebase White.
Yeah, we did white.
And you could at a certain time in the game. At Firebase White, nothing could get behind you in one specific room.
Yeah.
If you stayed in a certain spot. So we stayed in this one room, and we would hold down the room. Unless we had to have objectives. Obviously, you ran out and got those. But, anywho, we did this one room. So we thought, hey, we're good. Well, in this update, they took that room away. They added
a hallway.
They added a hallway to the back, so now enemies could go around and come back.
They didn't do that in that update, though. They did that later because we did the platinum when that hallway was not there yet.
No, because we had to use a different room. We did not use our normal room.
Okay,
we used a very small room that you would walk
in the middle. The first time we did platinum, we did that room.
Yeah.
So that hallway wasn't there yet. They added that later. They changed that map later because I remember us holding down this room. Because me and you were facing one stairs, and then Matt and Jay were doing the other ones, and so we did platinum. And platinum is like first wave on platinum is like later gold, right? Like so, it's like wave 10 gold. It's like hard.
Yeah.
And we're like, holy crap! And then we get to wave 2, and then Jay said, "I've already used all my rockets."
And then who else was like, "I'm out"? Was that you or? I think that was Matt.
Me and you were trying to hold down the stairs coming up into that room. And then, because we had our Solarians.
You got thrown out.
I did, but not yet.
Okay.
Because I still have another spot. So, because we had wave 3, which was objectives.
Right.
So we ran down the stairs, and that's when we saw Cerberus.
And my reaction, what the fuck is this? I don't know what the fuck's going on. Where the fuck did they come from?
And literally, they was Cerberus engineers, plop, turret, plop, turret.
He literally didn't move an inch. He went turret, turret, turret. He just started laying turrets where he just every foot it was a turret, turret, turret. And I'm like, I don't know what to fucking do.
Oh man, and it just wiped us out. And then, of course, we went downstairs. Jay and Matt went upstairs, and then they're like, "What? Wait, what? What? what?" And then we all got out, and then I died.
No, I was watching the upper stairs. We had switched because I was switching back and forth because they picked two infiltrators.
I went downstairs because I went into that computer room and then died.
Right. So I was basically running support for you and them because they were running long range weapons, and you still need an energy drain. Had a stun, it would stun them, and then I would take all their shields away. Great for snipers. So that's basically what they were doing. So I was switching, I was bouncing back and forth. I'd like do an energy drain, then help you out, and then back and forth. And that's how I caught the Cerberus, because I was like helping you, and then you're like, well, I don't have anybody. I'm going downstairs. I'm like, well, I'm staying here. And as I poked around the corner, there it was. And I was like, oh my God, what do we do? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, the Cerberus turret got me downstairs. I died, and then I got kicked. I will say this. I've never had more frustration playing online than I've ever played on the Xbox 360.
Yes,
I got kicked so much, and
we couldn't connect to each other. Even when I got better internet, we still had trouble connecting to each other.
You know what? On the PS3, I got kicked twice. So think about that. And that was free.
Yeah.
So screw you, Xbox. Anyway, so I got kicked out, and I got brought back in right as you died. You fell.
I survived for like 4 or 5 minutes for you to come back. It was just me and a Geth Prime. I'm pretty sure.
When I got back in, I died. Yeah, I didn't last. And then we were like, yeah, we're not ready for this.
Man, that was rough.
When your internet was so bad, I remember we all have our quirks. And this is something we all joke about. I was terrible at hitting people with rockets, especially Geth.
You would shoot at them, and it would literally just go, or through their legs. I remember you
the Prime's legs.
Yes, and it would go like way out of the way.
So yeah, I would waste rockets, and then Matt is not as hardcore of a gamer as we are.
No.
He isn't, and he got pretty decent at Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. He got pretty decent, for him not being as hardcore of a gamer as us. He got pretty damn good, and but unfortunately, he ran out of Metagel so often.
Because he would Metagel on wave 1, because he would go down, because he was using a pretty.
He was using that one.
Asari.
No, not the Asari. He was using the N7 Adept, and she had that annihilation field. So they had to get up right next to them, and anything that walked in the field was primed. So then he would use throw, and he had a pistol. He could go in there and cause some damage, but he was very squishy.
That was the one that had the disease.
Yes, yeah.
That was a newer one. That was the Asari Adapt.
It wasn't the Asari one, no. This was the N7 one.
Okay.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah.
And not the Shadow. The Shadow was like the infiltrator with like the sword.
And that's what I ended up loving.
I can't remember what the name of the N7 girl was, but man, he just rocked with her. But he was squishy, so he would go down, and then he would just instantly, almost sometimes on reaction, get back up and fight. And then we're like, no, don't, because it's still wave 1.
And like 2 people left.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I didn't know. And so he would run out of Metagels a lot. You would have lag so bad.
I get so mad at that.
And
I remember it showing mirror images. So Prime would be in front of me, and I'd shoot the rocket at his feet. And then he would be like off in the distance, and I would shoot the rocket at his feet, and he would literally be here. And once that rocket left, he was here. And I was like, oh crap! Yeah.
There was one time where you shot somebody, and then they killed you, and you're like, I shot him! And we're like, no, you didn't, Mike. You weren't even facing him.
And on my screen, I'd already unloaded.
Yeah, and it didn't even hit him.
Yeah.
And then Jay, He was the tank, so he stole a lot of kills.
God damn it, Jay.
And so, since he was also the tank, he would also sometimes be the hardest to take down. He would be the Krogan.
He was the Krogan Vanguard.
He would play Krogan Vanguard. He would also play the soldier sometimes.
But the Vanguard, he was unkillable.
Once he got the Vanguard, he was the Vanguard all the time. He was
you couldn't kill him because he had a huge shield on that Krogan.
Huge shield and armor, yeah.
And then huge health. And then every time he used that, he got all of his shield back.
Yeah.
He would just charge and then melee, charge, melee.
And he would get that Krogan rage.
Yep.
And all right, so when he would go sometimes we would go down and he would have to be by himself, he would like panic and start singing "I've got a brand new pair of roller skates."
Yeah, I got a brand new pair of roller skates.
I remember I had to pee after every game.
Yes.
And Matt had to have a cigarette after every game.
Yep.
And Jay spent more money after every game.
Yes.
Jay spent probably around $200 on just packs. Because you could buy real money, you could spend more money, or you could use in-game credits, which is what we all did. I would only ever spend real money if I had, because back when I first launched, I had the Microsoft point system.
Yep.
So if I had points left over from buying a DLC or something.
Same here.
Well, okay, whatever, packs. Because they would always end up where you had like 200 or like something points left, and nothing cost 200.
Except for packs.
Or like a hat for your avatar or something.
Yeah.
Something stupid like that. Man, we played so much of this.
One of my fondest memories was when we were doing one that had the Banshees in it. And Jay would forget that they would pick you up. And that one girl, she was going to try to pick me up. And he charged in, and she caught him by the head. Like, literally, her hand was out, and he, and boom, right in, and she just picked him up. He goes, "What the fuck just happened?"
And because the Banshees, the Phantoms, and I think the Brutes could as well. They would insta kill you.
Yeah.
And then I think some of the collectors, the Praetorians, those little floaters,
would kill you.
those would do insta kill. None of the Geth had insta kill.
And he would forget.
I have two fondest memories, and they were 2 weeks apart from each other. The first one is when Jay got really drunk.
Yes, that was hilarious.
Jay got so drunk and was playing, and
why is everything upside down?
And he's like, "I'm upside down." He's laying on the floor looking up at his TV playing. And I'll never forget, like, he was drinking like some Captain Morgan and like some Smirnoffs or something like that.
Yeah, he's a lightweight.
And he ended up going in and getting the whole bottle of Captain.
Yeah.
And was sitting there, and in between he'd take a chug.
You could hear him.
And then his wife came out and saw how much he was drinking. She goes, "Jay, what the fuck?" Click. And he hit mute on his mic, and we all died laughing. That was the funniest thing. And then by this point, I had settled in with the Turian Sentinel.
Yes.
He was my guy. Once I found him and once I got good with him, because I didn't set up with the Turian, he had high shields and pretty good health too. And so I didn't feel like I needed the combat armor.
Right.
Or the tech armor. So I did full overload, full warp.
Yep.
So I was a complete, and I had
Maddock.
I had my Maddock. So I was assault rifle. I was range, and I was like throwing debuffers, shields for overload, warp for armor. So or priming, and then for either tech explosions or biotic explosions. I was sheer support, and I loved that role because I'm like I felt like useful, because Matt would always run a biotic usually, so he would need explosions. I would help him. Jay, he would be in there fucking ravaged around.
Well, Jay did. He also played that one pyro guy.
That's what I'm getting to. He played. I can't remember the names right now, but you don't tell me what to do.
Yes.
I can't remember what they're called, but they're monsters. Big monster. Big monster. He'd say that. Sometimes your characters would call out when they would see like one of the bosses. But he would have this flamethrower, and I would throw out overload, and since they were already primed with flames, they would just explode.
Right.
And but okay, so he goes, Jay, he's drunk, and he goes, Brandon, you playing your Tolarian?
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm playing my Turian, Jay. It's a hilarious. And it is hilarious. And then we quit playing for the night. And the next week, I want to say it was Labor Day weekend, because I got a pack of beer and I got some ribs. And I was going to slow cook some ribs in my...
This is a chain where, like, Jay was drunk, you were drunk, and then, like, the next weekend I was drunk.
No. Jay was the only one drunk on the first week.
That's right.
And then the next week...
No. I mean, like, each week we changed who was drinking.
Well, no, because then the second week, the rest of us were drunk and Jay was the only one sober.
Okay.
It was like him alone and then him alone sober. So
was that my rage one where I was really pissed off?
Yes. All right. So we get in and I'm going to make the ribs, right? I'm going to make slow cooker ribs. I'm going to barbecue, put some beer in there. My wife begged me, don't put beer in there. She hates the taste of beer in cooking. And I'm just like, trust me, it's good. She goes, no, please don't do it. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this beer then? Guess I'm going to drink it. So I drank. When we started playing, I had a beer. And that led to all six. And I'm like, what else we got? And I led to, like, when my wife ran to the store to go get something and she got back. And there were 4 bottles on the table when she left, with one I was drinking. When she got back, there were 12. She was gone for 20 minutes. Seriously, I did not remember drinking that much, but I was just like pounding them down because, like, I was thirsty, and I was so thirsty. And then I remember I took a break, and I thought I was gone for 3 minutes. You guys said I was gone for 20, talking to my dad. My dad called me.
Yeah.
And then
I don't think I was there at this time.
You came in
late.
You came in pretty late, and you were hammering on about your ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
And she had made you mad, and so you were throwing a fit. You were pissed off, so you weren't really that fun to play with. Matt was buzzing. He wasn't drunk. I was drunk.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, how focused I was because I had to work harder at it.
Yeah.
And I'm like laser focused, and I'm kicking ass. And I remember my wife had a very similar reaction to Jay's wife about me drinking, but she didn't vocalize it. She came in and she looked at me and went, and I went. I shrugged and went, and then I took a break, or we were done, and then she was mad and she went to bed early because she was going somewhere the next day. And then I'm like, all right, it's time to go to bed. Oh no, I didn't put the ribs in. So I get the rack of ribs and I got my knife because it's a rack of ribs. You got to cut them up into pieces to slow cook them. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. Holding my breath as I'm slicing these. I'm like, got it. Put it in there. Just 2-3 more. And I got them cut, and I had this big thing of barbecue sauce, and I'm like, all right, put some barbecue sauce. Boom. That's good. Just because I bought like the big jug of Sweet Baby Ray's and put it in there. And I just put barbecue sauce, and I don't remember putting any spices in it. I just closed. And I'm like, I got to shower. And then I'm like, in the shower going, leaning against the wall, like, this sucks. Okay, I wasn't like wasted drunk. I could still walk. Pretty wobbly. And I could stand a little wobbly. If I had something to hold on to, I was good.
Right.
But in the shower, you have to balance while you're washing yourself, and that was hard. And then I go lay down, and I'm like, I'm gonna puke. Okay, I'm good. Lay back down. I need to get some sleep. I'm gonna puke. You know, this sucks. I should probably wait again, and then just go puke. Okay, lay back down. Laying here. Man, Mass Effect is cool. Now, and then I went and I ran and I puked, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. And then I went and slept. And then I got up the next day, a little dehydrated, had me the best tasting ribs I've ever eaten. They were dry. I put it on high. They were dry. They were just with the barbecue sauce, but they were so freaking good.
Yeah, I remember
that because I was so dehydrated, and so many memories of Matt. I can't wait to play Andromeda. It sucks because Jay and Matt are on second shift. we're gonna have to try and work in some way.
Matt's gonna put in for.
I think he is too, but there's got to be some way, some weekend that we can all try.
We gotta get together.
We've got to play a little bit.
I tell you what, this new game is gonna open up a lot of doors for styles of play.
Yes,
because the multiplayer still has, as we didn't watch today, but I will watch it before I leave here, the multiplayer video. But it has all the classes.
It does. It's like the old.
It's basically exactly the same. But in the game,
in the campaign, you can sort of mix and match and do your own thing.
You can make those, yeah. And I just had this feeling that it's going to be everybody's going to be online going, yeah, I just do a Vanguard style play where I'm a Crow Guard that never dies.
Yeah. So we went strong until like Christmas, and after Christmas I fell off. You fell off. Jay kind of fell off. So then it was just me and Matt, and then I'll never forget. Me and Matt had one last go with just me and him, and we did the two of us with Silver alone. And as I said, Matt's not the best gamer in the world, but we did it.
Yeah.
Just the two of us. It was fun.
We used to do Silver all the time by ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Me and you could do it because we knew how to... We would pick classes and we knew how to work with each other.
Also, I remember when we first played and you were surprised at how well I was doing because you're like, you don't know anything about the game. I'm kind of surprised that you're keeping up with me on the score here. And that's when I was like, I think I'll just play this character.
Mm-hmm. So, in 2013...
Oh, yeah.
I sold all my fucking games. And I sold my Xbox. I did not sell my Mass Effect. This is like a Bible. This is sacred to me.
Right.
But I did buy the trilogy on PS3. And Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Because after so long, EA got the rights back to the first one. And so on PS3, this is the only way to get a physical copy in America of Mass Effect 1. You can get physical copies of 2 and 3 separately.
Yes.
Mass Effect 1, you could get it digitally or in the trilogy. Over in Europe, they did get a separate entry just for the first one, but we did not. This one does have a little bit. No, it doesn't. It looks like it's a manual.
Right.
Oh, I have my receipt. Oh my gosh.
Is it from the replay of discs?
No, it's from Walmart from here in my hometown. On, let's see the date. March 2nd, 2013. What did I buy?
Obviously Mass Effect.
I got PS3 game, gum, 2 Mountain Dew Kickstarts, some chocolate.
It seems very familiar.
I was sort of doing it, but I bought this at full price at $60. Gosh, it's so cool to find this stuff. Oh my gosh! Hold on. What time did I buy it? I bought this at 2,300 hours.
11:40
11:40
at night.
I wonder what. Now this is crazy. I'm officially going overboard with how crazy I am with this because we're gonna go back in time to the. Let's go to the year on my phone. Let's go to 2013.
You're gonna find out what day it was.
I'm gonna find out what day it was. March 2nd. It was a Saturday.
Huh.
So I know what I did that night.
Yep.
I know what I did. Because I stayed up till 8 o'clock in the morning playing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer on PS3.
Yeah. I remember you trying to get me...
Because I ended up playing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer again. With PS3, you had to start over. Yep. 100%. And you had moved over to the PS3 by then. And I'd mentioned that you could just pick up a copy of Mass Effect 3 pretty cheap. Just by itself. Maybe we'll play some more. And then you thought about it and never did it. Rob did. Jay did. Because he got a PS3 as well. And we ran about a month, and then GTA 5 came out.
Yeah.
And then we played that. So that was that. I did get Mass Effect 3 on the Wii U after I got a Wii U. This is used. I bought it because Mass Effect.
Reasons.
Yeah. I mean, literally, I never completed it. I started it, and it's pretty cool to play with the gamepad. The buttons are a little wonky as far as like placement because of the Wii U.
I believe this was your next one, right?
Maybe. I don't know when I bought this. I think this came out in 2013 or 12.
I was with you when you bought this.
Yeah, that was in the Devil's Playground at GameStop for half off. I got it for like $20.
Because I remember I said, "Oh shit, what's that?" And you just went,
"Yeah,
mine."
So the DVD, Blu-ray copy of Mass Effect Paragon Lost. This is made by Funimation, and it follows James Vega from Mass Effect 3. This takes place in between 2 and 3.
Huh.
It's a really cool add-on. Like, so if you're playing through the games, you get done with 2, pop this in. It's kind of a cool little lead-up to his character, and it shows you there's a part where he kind of goes to his backstory, and something that he has to face a big decision, very similar to Shepard in this, and it kind of stays with him, and it messes him up a little bit.
Huh.
Really fun. Of course, I got my Pops. I got the Monopoly. My wife got me this for Christmas. It's the Normandy replica that the cats broke. Trust me, if I start picking off pieces right now, they'll just fall apart. But they've been together. When I first got my game room together, the cats broke it. I have a Mass Effect N7 little wristband.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I got that with the first wallet. It was from GameStop. The Mass Effect Monopoly is pretty cool. I do like some of the cards that you get with it, as far as like the instead of chance and community chest, it's Paragon Renegade.
Yeah.
And then the tokens are the N7 helmet, the Mako, the space hamster.
Space hamster.
Because Shepard can buy his hamster. You can get Normandy, the shifty cow, which is that's a Mass Effect 1. That's what made me want to buy it, because that is a deep cut for Mass Effect 1 is the shifty cow, and then the Omni tool. The shifty cow from Mass Effect 1, he's on this one random planet with his cows. One cow's a shifty cow. If you press the A button, he starts robbing you of credits. He's a shifty cow. And then, of course, you can go through and buy different places. Some of the places are like, instead of railroads, they're then the mass relays that you can buy. They're pretty important ones in the game itself. I've actually never played this. I have cracked it open and looked at some of the cards. Of course, you have the money is credits with different Mass Effect characters on them. I have 2 pop vinyls. I don't have them all because they're now too expensive. I got Shepard and Tally. This is my power couple. Originally, this is she's the one that I ended up with in 2 and 3, because you can't romance her in 1.
Right.
She's too young, I guess. Rob in the Cradle.
Can't do that.
But I got those. She is like almost $100 now. He's about 30. Grunt's $100. Garrus up there too, depending on where you get them, because apparently eBay has a couple of them for like 15, 20. Somebody didn't know what they have.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I have is the Mass Effect 1 collectors.
I remember this.
This was a part of the big get. Now, this is in some rough shape.
It is.
The corner of the vinyl slipcover is messed up. And then the case, the little tin itself is dented like somebody stepped on it. But we were at a game store. This was my big gaming haul from 2014 when I started collecting. Like, I had started collecting in 13 when I said I sold all my stuff in the spring, and then I went to my mom's house in the summer and found my Super Nintendo with Star Fox. And I'm like, I gotta play old games. And then that kind of started it. I bought a few things, and then around Christmas, a few things, and then I got like $1,300 to spend all of my own for the tax. Of our taxes, and I went out with you,
and you went all in,
bit the whole damn thing, and got this for $5.
Yeah,
because it doesn't have the actual game. It does have the bonus disc,
and all the stuff inside of it.
Now the game itself, it comes with it's like a little what's the right word? Like a cardboard,
right?
A case. It's not an actual like game case. But I have the actual game, which is fine, but I don't have the game that goes with this. And it comes with the manual, like before. And then it comes with a Future Imagined Mass Effect. And this is like basically a paperback art book.
Right.
But this is what it's...
This is the cool part.
It has a printed codex, like it's in the game. And you can go and you can like... Almost all of these are like the main entries where you can go and listen to the guy narrate, and you can read about the history of the lore that they built, and as a physical copy. And then actually in here is a few other things as well. There's a manual for Far Cry 2 and an insert for Battlestar Galactica. These were just randomly in there. I don't know why they're in there, but that's what I got when I bought it. So yeah, like the dude was like, there's not a game for it. I don't even know how much I'd sell it for. He goes, shoot me a price, and I said, $5.
Done.
And then he stopped, hesitated, and I spent like $100 in his store. He goes, because you're buying all the other stuff for me, sure. And so this is like,
it's
so
rough
cool.
though.
It's I don't care, because this was only sold on GameStop.com.
Yeah.
You couldn't get this anywhere else, and so I'm very, very happy to have this, even though it's not complete. I hope to have it one day to find that little insert, but you know what? It's cool because I have the collector's edition. No matter how rough it is, I have all 3 collector's editions.
I remember saying, "Hey, what's that? Is that Mass Effect 1?" And you told me to shut up. The collector's edition.
You should ask how much that is. Ask how much that one is. No. Because I was trying to save my money because I had one more place to go because I had to get a Game Boy Advance. You remember that?
Yep.
And I knew where I could get one because we already seen one, and I had to go back and get one because we couldn't find one because I already bought some Game Boy Advance games, but I didn't have a system yet.
Right.
So that is like my Mass Effect collection, and stories about playing the games and going through the multiplayer, and I can't wait for Andromeda, which launches tomorrow as this episode comes out, and the memories that we're gonna hopefully create with that.
I know that me and you will create a lot.
Rob's gonna play it. We're gonna play online with Rob. Hopefully Jay and Matt. Matt's super excited for it. Matt is like excited for it.
That's awesome.
And
I remember he just wasn't that big of a gamer. And then he loved playing with us. He loved the game, and then he actually beat it all.
He beat Mass Effect 2. I want to say it was before 3 came out, and then he would get stuck. He would come in, and I knew exactly where he was,
right?
And I would talk him through it, or he'd call me and I'd talk him through it. And then he loved the interaction. He goes, "It's like Gears, but it's deeper, and it's like you get to know these characters." I'm like, "Welcome to RPGs."
Mm-hmm. And that's our life.
Pretty much that's all I got. And,
that's it.
That's
all I got.
That's all I got for this week's episode. I gush about this series because it is so good. And it's a very large part of my gaming history. And I'm very excited to add to it. And then I guess...
really excited for it.
If you... now I'm recommendation. Holy crap. I recommend Mass Effect. It is available on PS3 in the trilogy or separately, as I said before. On 360 you can get them all separately, or you can get the trilogy on that one as well.
The PS3
or no 360. There's
360.
They have a trilogy pack. However, the PS3 you do get the better deal because Mass Effect 2 comes with a bunch of the DLC. Mass Effect 1 comes with one of the DLCs. The other one is just not really that important. It's basically like a time trial type thing that you can download called Pinnacle Station. I have it on the Xbox version, but I completed it only a couple times. It's not really that important. Mass Effect 3 is stock on PS3, so you have to get all the DLC. On the Xbox version of the trilogy set, comes with 0 DLC.
Right.
Absolutely none. And then of course it's on PC as well on EA's Origin.
Right.
And then Steam, I think it's on there as well. Mass Effect is freaking awesome. I cannot wait. Do you have a recommendation?
I do have a recommendation.
What's the recommendation?
The recommendation this time around. I already said Twilight, so man.
Pick one.
I already did. I did the Twilight before. Let's go with RE3.
Resident Evil 3? Nemesis. Oh, good one.
It's a good one.
That's a good one. Dude, Resident Evil 3 was... Okay, so RE2 scared me. Resident Evil 3 with Nemesis following you around so much?
It scared me to death.
Okay, he already scared me, but then the second time you meet him, he has a rocket launcher?
Yep.
Ah!
He's everywhere. Every time, you go through the...
He's been everywhere, man.
I remember going
We didn't tell some of the other Vampiro stories.
We didn't.
All right,
so let's step into the biggest one to me. This one is the one that I like the best. So me and him are playing with this guy, and him and Rob are talking back and forth. And me and Brandon are texting each other like, these guys are going to say this next. Like, what are we not going to talk about? So first, I believe this is the same incident.
No, these are separate, because the one that I'm thinking of, he ends up leaving and then said that he'd be back, and then we purposely went invisible so he couldn't find us.
Okay. So tell yours, but leave me the underwear.
All right, yeah. All right, so we're online earlier on in the evening, probably late afternoon.
Yeah.
And we're playing. He goes, "Hey, I gotta go. We gotta go to GameStop. My mom's gonna take me to GameStop and get some cigarettes."
His mom took him to get cigarettes.
Yeah.
Man.
So I'm gonna, but see, well, she has to take me because I'm disabled.
Which we don't know what he was actually disabled for, but he was disabled. And all he did was stay in the basement. In his room, and what he'd do is he'd beat a game, and then he'd take it back to the Devil's Playground, and then he'd get a new game,
Yeah, he'd
come
get
back
GameStop.
and get all those platinum things, the gamer scores.
Well, he get all that gamer score. Okay, so he goes, "All right, guys, I'll be right back," and we're like, "Okay," and then we go hide, and we went invisible, and then we continued to play, and we're like, imagine if we meet him in a random game. We're like, "Oh, please don't." And he got back on, and we were invisible, and he still sent us a message.
Yeah.
Asking to join a party, and we were gone. And the next day, he caught us.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey, where were you guys yesterday? You guys said you were going to be here." And we're like, well, we met up to go out to eat. We met up at IHOP. He goes, "Wait, you guys live near each other?" Well, I didn't know that.
And I remember distinctly him going, "What are you guys laughing at?" A lot.
He did that later on too, because then we were having a big conversation about your conversation, and we were texting each other, and then I said, "Watch, they're gonna talk about what underwear they wear."
Yes.
And then they started talking about underwear.
Literally, we're talking moments after he sent me this, and I said, "Yeah, you're probably right." And literally, he's like, "Rob, what kind of underwear you wear?" And we just start cracking up. Like, we can't hold it anymore. And this guy's like, "Well, what are you guys laughing about?" And it's just like, nothing. Something happened at work today. Or I don't know what we made. We made some random thing up.
There was another time where he's like, "My soul," which is my gamer tag. "I love you. Will you marry me?" Murray.
Marry me.
Murry. And we're no, no, I won't.
Why not?
Well, why not? You don't love me? And then there was, "Hey, Zoolog, you got a Bible in your house?"
No, I do not.
What? Where? Everybody should have a Bible in their house. That's un-American.
And then I tried to dump it off on you. "Well, my soul ain't got a Bible. You guys ain't got a Bible in your house?"
"Rob, you got one?" "Yeah, I got one. See, we got Bibles in our house." I don't know what this guy was on.
Oh, one of the best stories. Remember when Rob was talking about seeing Vampiro's ex-girlfriend now? And I said, was he pushing her around in a wheelchair? This guy, I can't imagine what he looked like.
Well, see, and then there's a story of like a few years later, or maybe not even that long. I went into Walmart after work one night, and I heard a voice that sounded exactly like his, and I had like PTSD.
Didn't you turn around and leave?
No, I ducked and like hid and like listened for him. And then I'm like looking around, and I see the guy that's talking. He goes, "Well, I don't know where they keep it at." And I'm like, "No."
I remember you texting me this.
And then, okay, he's talking. Okay, it's not him. Okay. God, that was scary. And then, yeah, I texted you.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fun memories of Mass Effect. So many more to come. We've gone pretty long, I think. I haven't timed this, but we are getting to the point where it's like we got to kind of cut it off. And the next episode that you guys hear will be my first impressions and a review of sorts of Mass Effect Andromeda, because I'm Don't think I'm going to beat it. It's not going to be like last time.
I believe that
I have a kid now.
I might. I'm looking, as I look down at Zelda, I'm just kind of like, but it's Zelda.
It is Zelda, and I won't be able to beat my copy before Andromeda gets here, but I'm going to switch. I'm going to switch over and play Andromeda because I have to. And while I own this on multiple consoles, Xbox is where it was at. I am getting it for PS4 because that's where the Gethbusters are. That's where Matt does have a PS4. Jay has a PS4. Rob has a PS4. You have a PS4. Not that Rob. Hopefully we don't find Vampiro and Rob. A silent Rob. Dude, if we find Vampiro, oh my gosh.
And it'd be funny because what's going to happen? It'll probably be me. Zulong Zoso? Well, are you that Zulong guy I used to play with on the 360? No, I'm not.
Well, how'd you know who I was talking about then?
Yep.
I think you are. You are friends of mine. Oh, I just looked at it. Boy, do you think we can glitch in this game?
I wonder if there's a glitch in this game. Well, I better look and see if people are finding it.
Thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Game Addicts podcast. I've had so much fun diving into memory lane, talking about how and who's and the what's about my experience with Mass Effect. Mike, thank you for sitting here and listening to me for the most part until we got to parts where you can actually talk about. I just thought it was very right to just gush about Mass Effect.
It's the perfect time because we're getting ready to gush in the next episode about it. I will probably at least minimum. I'm going to at least put in 10 hours.
10 hours? I should have that by then, I hope. Again, I have a toddler. It's a little bit more difficult to get a lot of time, but I'm pretty sure the wife is understanding enough that she's going to let me have some personal time to come back and play it. And then even though I've been getting time in with Zelda, too. Right. So there's that. I should be able to get some decent time in to be able to give you guys a hands-on impression of what I think of Andromeda and how it stacks up to the rest of the series and how I think it's going to go and how I think it's going to live up. So thank you guys for checking out this episode. It was a lot of fun to talk about, a lot of fun to revisit. And you guys can check us out all over the internets. We're all over for social media on at Game Addicts Play on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then, of course, we are on YouTube as well. Search us Game Addicts Podcast will come up. I'm trying to get the labeling down right for that because for some reason the channel doesn't show up right, but the podcasts do show up. Like on the search, they do show up there. And then, of course, if you just follow us on Twitter or on Facebook, the videos and everything and the podcasts are always shared. Yes. So you can get us on podcast form on audio if you just want to listen to us in your car or while you're gaming or whatever on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play Music. We're all there. You can subscribe.
We're everywhere, man.
We're almost everywhere. We're not on Spotify yet.
That's the next guy.
Well, and or iHeartRadio.
I don't like iHeartRadio.
I've never seen it on my screen. But you can see us on your screens on YouTube. That was funny. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for checking out this episode. Once again, I am your host, Brando.
And I am Player 2, Mike.
And we will see you in Andromeda.